I am live, finally. Ah, okay. My apologies, everybody, for the All right. So I am now officially live, guys. Oi, one moment, guys. I was having technical difficulties earlier, trying to get everything sorted out, but I am back, resilient as always. Oh, I am back. I am back. I am back. All right, everybody. So give me one moment, please. So let me just remind all the folks that were live earlier that I am now up and running. So they should come on live. Okay. Okay. One moment, everybody. Let me just let me just all right. So for the persons who are already here, welcome. I'm not going to waste any time. I am just going to start. And then for the other persons who will come along, they will come along when the time comes. All right. So, one moment, please. All right. So, let's get started. Let's get the ball rolling, right? So, as it pertains to JET program, JET program, the application process is now open, and the application deadline is December 1st, 2020. So the deadline is close. So you have approximately 2 weeks to get your paper ready, you get your paperwork and to get everything sorted out for you to start the first leg of your journey, right? All right. Now I have here a whole lot of paperwork. I did the legwork for you guys and questions and my little whiteboard as well as website information and all the such likes, right? Now, I'm going to post in the chat section uh, the website for the Japan Embassy. So it's www.jamaica.emb-japan. When you go, when you go to, hi Michael, when you go to that website, you are going to be directed to the the embassy, which is the Jamaican embassy, and that is where you should go to get your application form and other necessary information for applying for the JET program, right? All right. So first things first, when you go on the website, you are going to download the application form. Now, I have here a whole lot of papers in my hand. The application process can be a little bit daunting, right? Hi Ornella. The application process can be a little bit daunting, but trust me, this in comparison to what you're about to get from JET program pales in comparison. Now there are several programs that you can come to Japan on, and two of the more popular programs are JET and Interact. The difference between JET and Interact is that with Interact you have to pay your own plane fare to get here, and you're basically on your own once you're here. The support system is not as great as with JET. Right now with JET, it's a government program, so therefore you are afforded your plane fare is paid for. So for example, if you're in Jamaica, you would take for example, you're coming from Spanish Town, you are responsible for your fare from Spanish Town to the airport. From the airport to whenever you land in your apartment in Japan, you are the responsibility of the Japanese government. So you don't pay $1 for anything. If you're in the airport and you want to buy something to eat, that's on you. But on the air flight, everything, nothing comes out of pocket for you. Absolutely nothing. So they pay your fare to come to Japan, and they pay your fare to go back home on the condition that you complete your contract while you are here. All right. So once you complete your contract, then you don't have an issue with them paying your fare or whatever to come back home. Now, there's something in Japan called key money. Once you get here, some persons, especially persons on Interact, they have to pay this money to get an apartment. On JET, you don't pay anything. You come right into your apartment. When I first came here, I didn't have to do anything. Absolutely nothing. I just came. My apartment was already prepared for me. I had every single thing to start. I had a refrigerator, microwave, stove. Every single thing was here. Every single thing was prepared for me. Now back to the application process itself. There is a checklist here, and I'm going to read the checklist for you. So let's say that the application deadline is Tuesday, December 1, 2020 at 4 p.m. and they put in bold, no exceptions, right? You're not supposed to alter the document in any way, shape, or form. So don't cross out anything unless it's you write it. Don't do, matter of fact, even if you make a mistake, I'd advise to print over that particular piece of paper and then write in that information. All right. Now, you're going to there are some documents, and they give you a list of the documents that you're going to need. For example, your application must be sorted in 3 sets, which is, to some people, it can be a little bit daunting because they're saying you have to write everything 3 times. Don't worry about that. That's do not staple any of your documents. You see me here now, because I'm not sending in an application, and to keep my papers together, I have them stapled. Do not staple your documents. All right. Use a paper clip to have them together, because the embassy is receiving hundreds of applications. And imagine if they're supposed to go through and take off all of these things and then try to separate and do all of that. No, don't staple. Don't follow me. Do not staple your documents. Me already there. I don't have to do that. All right. So therefore, all right, moving on. The application must be in hard copy, so you cannot send anything via email. It has to be printed and then delivered to the embassy. Now you should have 3 transcripts. 1 original and 2 copies. So you should ask, let me see how I would word this now. When you go to your university or your college, you're going to ask them, can you photocopy? You ask for 1 original, and you ask them if they can photocopy it before they seal it for you. in the case that it is sealed, you cannot break the seal. You have to just bring it in as is, right? That is that. No, no copies. Do not submit in your original degree paper, because whatever is sent to the embassy will not be returned to you. So they tell you, do not submit original documents, right? And so, for example, your copies, like the copies of your degree or the copies of your teacher's college diploma, must be verified by the university. So they say that you must be certified, right? All right. You also will need 2 letters of references or recommendations. And these are ideally references from your current employers, pastors, principals, vice principals, lecturers, there, yada, yada, yada. Now, if you have not graduated yet, because a lot of persons, the graduation time period is usually December, but the deadline is December. If you have not graduated yet, that's fine. You can still send in your application, right? Now, what they've stated that if you haven't graduated, then one of the referees must be someone related to the university. So you're probably not working, so the person who would have taught you before must be there. Now, this is different from your status letter. Make note that this is different from your status letter. Now, back to the meat. The meat of the matter that is troubling everybody is not necessarily the application itself or writing up the application itself, but the problem that a lot of persons are having is the essay. I've seen some essays. Persons have sent in their essays to me to vet, and I am no expert, even though I'm an English language and literature major, I'm an educator, right? By profession. And I still would not classify myself as an expert in the field of essay writing, but I know one or two things. So persons have sent in their essays to me, and I'm going to go through what it is that you need to have in your essays, and I'm going to show you. Wow, inside Japanese joke. For persons who are here, you will know. Show you. All right. So you're going to have it double spaced and typed on an A4 paper. Example of an A4 paper. So the longer paper, right? They're very particular about everything. And they say here, this page limit must be strictly observed. Only 2 pages. So those of you who like to write enough things, don't bother. And those of you who don't like to write enough things, please to try to extend it to at least a page and a half, so it goes over into page 2. All right? That is that. Here is another list that they've given you. You need your 2021 document submission checklist. These are the things that they have on the website. The application form, application chart sheet, self-report of medical conditions, your statement of physician, your certificate of health and criminal record, and they also gave a list of supporting documents that you're going to need. And the list of supporting documents are your letters of reference, transcripts, statement of purpose, teaching or language proficiency qualifications. So for example, your degree, for those persons who have done other qualifications like TESOL or TEFL, you can submit those as well. I think those will work in your favor. I am not 100% sure what is the criteria or what it is that they choose applicants from, or what is it like the guidelines, but the best advice I can give to you is to just follow exactly what is here, and that will give you the best chance of beating out the other applicants. All right. Now, that is that. They've also offered on the website their information. So if you need additional information from them, then you can go to them and get that as well. Now on to the meat of the matter that everybody is here for. The application form. The application form is thicker than a snicker thick. Okay? So this is why it can be a little bit daunting. But you're going to need this, and you're going to need this in order to fill out this. All right? Now, this is the chart sheet. There's information on this that you're going to need to put into this. Oh, hi, Keiko. There's information on this that you're going to need to put on this. All right? So let me go through with you step by step. You're going to see some Japanese written on it. Don't concern yourself with that. If it is that you cannot read Japanese, that's fine, right? It says the application should be typed, if possible, or neatly handwritten in block letters, right? My advice to you is to get a pencil and to go over it first in pencil, in block letters, and then use a black ink pen, and then to go over it afterwards. All right, so therefore you can see if you make any errors and all of that. Now, first thing, position type for which you're applying. If you're applying from Jamaica, there's only one position that you can apply for, and that is the ALT position, the Assistant Language Teacher position. You cannot apply for a CIR, which is a Coordinator for International Relations, and you cannot apply for a SEA, which is a Sports Exchange Advisor. Those positions are not for you. All right. Your interview location. You're going to look on this paper here, and you're going to find your interview location. The interview location for you is 9410. That is your interview location. And just all you have to do is read. That's all you have to do. Read. Un momento. All right, so all you have to do is read, right? You're going to fill in your name, block letters, as I said before, your last name, first name, exactly as it appears in your passport. Next, your sex, male, female, date of birth, All right. Now, moving along to nationality. Your nationality is Jamaican if you are from Jamaica. On your chart sheet, you have other information. So if you're from any other country, if you're applying from any other country, there's a list of countries here: Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, Singapore, South Africa, UK, United States, and other is there, and it also includes your nationality. Now, this is like the little codes that you're supposed to put in. And same thing with around here. You're following me, everybody? I know I'm going a little bit fast, but just work with me. You can replay the video again afterwards, all right? Now, you're onto this page. Dual nationality. Question 6B. It says, do you possess dual nationality with Japan? I had a coworker here who his mother was Japanese, and he was born in another country. So he has dual citizenship. He had to give up his Japanese citizenship in order to come on the JET program. You understand? So you cannot be a Japanese citizen on the JET program. You understand? So yeah, you can't have it both ways. You have to give up one for the other. All right. Now, with that being said, put in your nationality, home state and hometown, that, your present address, telephone number, email address. Like I said before, guys, it looks daunting simply because it's a lot of information, and because you're seeing both the English and the Japanese, don't let that bother you. All right. Here's something very important: your criminal history, right? Have you ever been arrested, charged, and or convicted of any crime, including even those which you believe to have been expunged or otherwise removed from your record? Japan don't want a criminal over here. I'm just telling you that. I don't know. I've never met anybody who has ever had a criminal record who is here in Japan, to be honest. I've never met anybody. So if you have a criminal record, it's going to, in my opinion, work against you. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Now back to here now. Your current occupation or university or employer. They just ask you to fill in just basic information. Who you work for, who have you worked for in the past, which university are you going, they ask you for your academic degree. Somebody asked me a question before, do you have to have a degree to come on the JEF program? And no. If you do not have a degree, then if you have a college diploma in education, so if you're a teacher, if you are a diploma trained teacher, then fine. Somebody say something. Oh, yes. I'm happy the issues were solved too. All right. Now, your major, again, you're going to refer to this sheet. And you see these two small boxes that are here? Always refer to this sheet for additional information that you will need here. All right. Then they refer you to here. Using chart 4 of the chart sheet, please enter any appropriate 2-digit code for your specialization. They ask you to enter your higher level of education. So which school they used to go, information such as those, put it there. Duration of attendance, put it there. Name of employer, this employment history. If you've ever had a job in your life, they want to see how long it is that you have held on to this employment. How it is that, because they did ask me that in my interview, like, why every year you're at a different school? My contract, I've always been on like short-term contract, so that's why. So you need to be able to explain, if they do ask you, you need to be able to explain your employment history. Why is it that you have, all right. If you have any teaching or coaching background, it is not necessary. It is not necessary for you to have any teaching or coaching background, but it could be a plus. You understand? All you have to do is read. That's all you have to do. My apologies. Hey, do you leave spaces not applicable to you, blank? Yes, Arnella. I'm getting to that. If there's something on here that does not apply to you, leave it alone. Right? Teaching background for CRRs and ALTs only. Classroom teaching, other teaching or tutoring, please put that information here. I'm coming to that section. Coaching background and qualifications. Now, Arnold, to answer your question, this section 13B would not apply to you any at all, or would not apply to Jamaicans any at all, because you cannot apply for a SEA position, right? That's just not for you. No, these are persons who come here to teach sports, right? Or CIRs, you cannot apply for that position either. Only the position open to Jamaicans is only for ALTs. Now they ask you for at 15 it says study of Japanese language, study of Japanese history or culture. I never know nothing about Japanese. All I knew was what you call it now? Those little infomercials that they would have on CVM TV every now and again. That's what I knew of Japan. That's the only information I knew of Japan. I did not know anything about Japan separate and apart from that, right? No, I just said, no, I never studied Japanese. No, I never, the little that I knew about Japan was through anime or through any other situation such as that. All right. This section now, like I said, I made a note here. It says it doesn't matter if it is that you can read or do anything in Japanese. They won't hold it against you, right? They will not, because your purpose of coming here is not to teach Japanese, but to teach English, right? And as I said before, you do not have to have a degree in English language and literature, or you do not have to have a degree in teaching. You can have a degree in science. You can have a degree in how would I say, what's the farthest thing from teaching I can think of? You can have a degree in accounting, you can have a degree in the medical field, and they'll take you. Right? You can be a lawyer, because my friend here is a lawyer, and she's here teaching English. Go figure. All right. So international and intercultural experience at home or abroad. Were you a part of any government program, or were you a part of anything that could actually put your country on the map, basically? Anything that you could speak of. For example, there are some persons who, for myself here, I'm going to use my personal experience here. Since being in Japan, if I was asked this question, if I decided I was going to go to another country and I'm asked this question, what has been my experience with intercultural activities? I can safely say that since being in Japan, I've integrated myself within the community. So therefore, I've taught so many persons about Japan through having like cooking sessions with them, like doing a little video demonstration. I've done speaking classes with them, teaching them Jamaican Creole, things of that nature, right? Your foreign language proficiency. For Jamaicans, please put Jamaican Creole. It is for most persons your first language and you are proficient in it. So that's your language. If you know Spanish and French, you can put that as well. That will work in your favor as well. Any honors, awards, or scholarships that you have received, it will show that you don't just go school and go home. You understand? You are an active person. All right. Are you Are you in extracurricular activities or volunteer groups that you are involved in? Are you presently an app? No, question 20. Are you presently an applicant, or do you intend to apply for any other international exchange programs or scholarships? I put no right here because at the time I was not applying for anything else. Have you ever participated on the JET program? The JET program lasts for 5 years. So if you decide that you want to go, you spend 3 years and you decide that you want to go home, you have the opportunity to return to Japan for 2 more years. After which, you cannot be a part of the program any at all because 5 years is the limit. Something happened this year because of the coronavirus. There are persons who are on their 6th year on the JET program, and that is because of a very special situation. All right, we call them the unicorns. A very, very special situation which caused them to be like that. All right, moving along. Take your experience here accompanying dependents or cohabitating family members. I was asked this question, right? Previously by somebody. I have friends here who have their children here with them. I have a daughter, for those of you who know. But unfortunately, my contracting organization refused to allow my daughter to come here to Japan to be with me. Don't ask me why, I don't know. But I have friends here in other prefectures and in other cities who they have their kids here with them and they have their husbands here with them. I knew of another friend who came here and his girlfriend applied a year after. And what happened was he proposed to her, or that's what he told them. And he could prove that they were together and that they were visiting each other in between. And so he applied for a transfer to be where she is. And so they're now living together in the same city and everything, right? So you can have your spouse here with you and you can have your kids here with you. You can make an indication here, yes, I have my fiance. We are hoping to get married such and such a time. I have my daughter, I have my son, and I'm going to be taking them with me so that they can take into consideration where they should place you. All right. Number 24 on here, it says, do you possess a full driver's license? I have a friend who is here from Kenya. I don't know. Well, you guys, I did an interview with her recently, so you can check that out as well. She came here with her driver's license from Kenya, but her driver's license was not an international license. And so she could not use her license here to drive. That was what she was told. My friend from Trinidad, um, mm, Nisa. What? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot Nisa's name. My friend from Trinidad, Nisa, she has her international driver's license, and so she was placed in an area where she has to drive to school. If you tell them that you have a driver's license, more than likely you're going to be placed in an area where you will have to drive to school. Sometimes you will have to drive to school about 30 minutes. Sometimes you'll have to drive to school sometimes an hour both ways. All right, so take that into consideration when you tell them that you have a driver's license, right? Um, JET participants are assigned to contracting organizations all over Japan. Assignments may not necessarily be made according to your preference. A lot of people want to go to live in Tokyo. Tokyo is overpopulated and it is a cramped space. You cannot be placed in Tokyo for most persons. They will not be placed in Tokyo. Only recently I've heard of jets being placed in Tokyo. If you don't want, some persons want to go to Osaka, some persons want to go to Nagoya, they want to go to the big cities in Japan. And then there are those of us who are placed in Kashiwazaki, into the bush. When I was doing my research, I did not find anything online about Kashiwazaki. So I thought, then I really behind God back the people who might put me. But yes, you can tell them that you want to go here, there, there. They're gonna put you anywhere. I've never heard of anybody saying that, oh yes, I got my placement. I've never heard of anybody saying that. All right. So like I said, there's living area island. You can be placed on an island. Now, Japan is made up of several islands. For those of you who don't know, I live on the mainland, which is the largest island, right? And then there are smaller islands. So currently, the island closest to me is Sado Island, right? You have to take a ship or a ferry. You have to take a ferry to get to the island. The entire island probably only has one convenience store. When you're placed on an island, please, your mental health has to be top notch because sometimes, most of the times, you're on the island and you're the only English speaker on the island, except for probably the English teacher at your school. You're the only English speaker. So your ability to adapt has to be really, really high, or it can break you. Imagine being in a place where you don't know nobody and nobody speaks your language. And Japanese people are they don't really walk up to you and talk to you. They'll stare at you, but they don't really walk up to you and talk to you. They're not very friendly. You understand? So especially coming from Jamaica where everybody is kind of friendly. You don't know them, but you're in a setting and you say, oh, that girl look familiar, or that girl look like somebody I can talk to because of whatever similarities that you and that person may possess. I go over and talk to them. Here, so that's not the case. All right. So take that into consideration when you are coming here. All right. We're not finished as yet. You are going to choose your block, prefecture, designated city of preference. Now, when we say your prefecture, we're talking about, back to Jamaicans again, your parish, right? So over here, we call it a prefecture. I live in the prefecture of Niigata. So when I was in Jamaica, I lived in the parish of St. Catherine, right? Your designated city. I live in Kashiwazaki City. There are persons who when I lived in Jamaica, I lived in Spanish Town. That was the city that I lived in. All right. So your block, prefecture, and your city, and they ask you to give a reason why you want to go to that particular place. All right. And they give you three choices: your first, second, or third choice. Like I said before, I've never known of anybody getting any of their choices. If you know somebody, then good on them. All right. This section does not relate to you any at all. This section that talks about the CIR, it doesn't relate to you at all. So don't pay attention to this part. They're going to ask you for specific requests for placement, medical reasons, family members in Japan, etc. Whew, I'm all tired. Number 27. Where did you hear about the JET program? And there are different areas, Jet alumni, magazine articles, da, 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 and then they're asking you to put your emergency contact information, and you date the application, and you sign, and you're done. The only thing you're gonna have to do now is write this over 3 times. They're gonna complete 1, 2, 3. So 3 different applications, 3 different envelopes. Yes. Woo! My jaw corner. All right. Now, I said to you that there are several things that you are going to need, right? Your statement of physician. You're going to have to go in, you're going to read through and see if you don't have all your immunization, you're going to have to get all your immunization sorted out. And this is the document that you're going to print and you're going to take in. Oh, hi, George. Yes, George, you came a little bit late. You're going to have to print this and you're going to have to take this in to your doctor at the, medical conditions, prescribed medicines, da, 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 and the physician signature. And, you have to be in tip-top health to come to Japan. I thought I was in good health when I was coming to Japan. And I've had a host of medical issues since coming here, especially because I'm coming from an island where there's only one season. And then if you don't count mango season and all the other seasons that are technically not really seasons, but you come here and 1 minute the time cold and then the next minute the time hot and then it cold and then it hot and you're wondering what's going on. And the seasons here are extreme. For my friends who are placed in Hokkaido or who will be placed in Hokkaido, you will have snow for 6 to 7 months. You just snow. And for persons who are placed on the island of Okinawa, you don't see snow, but the heat is terrible. All right? So they're extreme. Some people see snow when you come to Japan, and some people, you don't know what snow look like. So take that into consideration. I'm in the middle, so I have both snow and winter time, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. All right, your certificate of health. There's a list of things that you will have to get done. You're going to have to get an x-ray of your lungs, and you're going to have to do, what did I do? I did an x-ray of my lungs. I had to get some more immunization. There's several other things that I had to do. I had to test my eyes, my blood pressure. I had to do a urine analysis. You're tested for tuberculosis, malaria, cardiac diseases, things like that. And so this too can be a little bit daunting. Make sure, like, you have 2 weeks. Trust me, you can do it. I did this in less than a week. I took about 2 days off work to get this done. All right. Your self-report of medical conditions. You're going to tell them how it is that you feel, your current treatment of any physical conditions, any issues that you've had in the past 5 years, history of nervous or mental conditions in your life. You realize how much times I mentioned mental health? Mental health in Japan, your mental health, especially as a foreigner, has to be strong. You will know why once you come here. You're coming into an environment that is entirely new. You're coming into an environment that can be a little bit frustrating, especially because here in Japan, they do things differently than where you are coming from. All right? Take that into consideration. For my Jamaican counterparts, when you come here, like I said to you before, people don't really friendly like that, right? You're going to be in your apartment and you don't know who is your neighbor. The only reason I knew who was living behind me was because 3 o'clock in the morning, I would hear Vibes Cartel and Berries Aman blaring and the walls are thin. And I'm like, am I dreaming? And then I went, I had to press the doorbell and be like, what going? That's how I knew that I was living beside a Japanese who had gone to Jamaica several times before, and who was in love with the culture. I never knew who lived on the other side of me. I do not know anybody who lives in this building. I've lived in this building for almost 4 years, and I don't know my neighbors. When you come to Japan, that is going to happen to you as well. You may never even see your neighbors. You can live there for years. Your neighbors might see you, but you don't see them. All right? So that is why they say that your mental health has to be strong, and you have to be in physical good health, because if you drop down into your yard, foreseeable difficulty in navigating stairs. I live on the 4th floor in my apartment, and there's no stairs. So every day there's no elevator. So every day I have to climb about 8 or 10 flights of steps to come into my apartment. Restrictions. If you have dietary restrictions, please take note that here in Japan, cheese depend everything. Milk, this is a society that consumes a lot of dairy. I am lactose intolerant. So you know that was an issue for me, right? A lot of dairy, a lot of cheese, a lot of bread. So they also notice that the Japanese people are so slim. I don't know. But they consume a lot of unhealthy food, a lot of fried. Everything is fried, everything is heavy with oil, a lot of bread, a lot of white bread, a lot of baked products, a lot of sweets. Oh my God, a lot of sweets. At one point in time, I went to the doctor and they told me that your sugar level is a little bit too high, and I've never had that issue when I was in Jamaica. So please take note. If you have any special food or any special thing that you know you're going to need, please bring those with you. I am going to do a video on what it is that you should bring to Japan once you've passed the interview stage. All right? All right, and then you sign and you date. Done. My last piece of paper that I'm going to make reference to for now is this. They give you another very thick piece of paper that you should read through that details the application guidelines from everything. So here's a schedule from application to arrival in Japan. The application deadline is in December 2020. January 2021, you're at the first stage of screening. So you are going to be doing your interviews in January. No, they will contact you. You do not have to contact the embassy. If it is that your application process was successful, they are going to contact you. Beginning from February to the beginning of March is your second stage, which is, well, my apologies. In January, because the application process started late, in January is the first stage, which is the looking through the documents. February and March is when is the interview, and then April, notification of successful candidates. April is when the first departure is going out, and then June, notification of successful participants, and then July, August is the second batch of persons who will leave, right? Now, for persons for group arrival, A will begin on the 9th of September, and then the group B will begin on the 12th of September. So there's 2 groups that will be leaving Jamaica. Make sure that you are on either group, because I don't want to be talking in vain. All right? Make sure that you are on either group. All right? So there's a whole lot of other stuff that I will not be going through in here, because I just be repeating myself, and this is just information that you can go and look up for yourself. You can go and apply for your criminal record from now. You can apply express, because the criminal record can last for up to 6 months, I think. Yeah, go and apply for your criminal record, right? Remember, the criminal record, the different medical tests that you will have to do, plus the application process itself, even though it may seem daunting, it is worth it, because of the other programs, you will have to do it. Plus, they don't provide you with anything. With JET, they provide you with everything, plus you just sort it out, basically. All right. For additional information on what it is like to live in Japan, guys, I'm asking you to please go to Altered Academics. Now, this is the website. This is what the website looks like when you go online, and it says Teach English in Japan, Altered Academics. And I'll leave let me just type the website here, alteredacademics.com. Go to Altered Academics and go on the website and look up. On the website, you're going to have information on Japan, teaching English in Japan, resources, some very helpful resources. My friend Jordan actually did this website. She was at an ALT here for 3 years. Go on the website. Any other information that you need to know about Japan, it's there. All right, everybody. Any information you need, I'm going to do a video directly dedicated to this so that you guys can have a full walkthrough of the system itself and what it is that you will need, and so on and so forth. The site is a professionally done site and another like something. All right. So go access the site for additional information plus what it is that I am sharing with you now. All right. Next thing, which is the most important thing, well, not necessarily the most important, is your essay, right? Whew, let me catch my breath. For persons who have emailed me their essays and I've said to you, all right, then, here is what you have to change and here is what you have to do, right? Let me go back through the essay and see if so this is what you call the statement of purpose, right? I'm going to read to you my statement of purpose that I wrote for my application. Do not plagiarize my things. For those of you who don't understand the big word, now right back on my right and send go give the people them. Do not rewrite what I wrote. All right. I'm just reading this to you as an example as to how your essay should sound, the professional nature of your essay. Correct? And it goes as thus. Great teachers around the world know that good education begins with clarity of purpose. The purpose of schooling is to prepare students for life in the real world, in their communities and societies, both in the present while students are in school and in the future after they leave school behind. I believe that as an assistant language teacher, I will be able to help provide the environment for this purpose to be realized while students prepare for the world around them. As an educator, I know that the real world is ever more interconnected and interdependent. We all share in facing such planetary changes as climate change, health epidemics, global poverty, global economic recessions and trade imbalances, assaults on human rights, terrorism, political instability, and international conflicts. We also share opportunities for global collaboration in such areas as scientific and artistic creation, trade, and international cooperation. These challenges and opportunities define the contours of our lives, even in their most local dimensions. Through the JET program, I will be able to create my ripple in the vast waters of the world through my interactions with the students of Japan. It is my desire to help to bridge any gaps that may be present between both countries by showcasing through my actions and planned activities the beauty and diverse culture that Jamaica has to offer. There are many similarities between Jamaica and Japan, some of which are the flora and fauna, geography, rich culture, and warm and friendly people. Jamaica has many plant life and animals that are endemic to its shores, such as the blue maho, red mangroves, yellow snake, and Jamaican iguana, among others. The students in Japan would also be introduced to the similarities in the geographic makeup of both countries. Jamaica is an island surrounded by the Caribbean Sea. Japan also has many small islands which contributes to its physical makeup. Jamaica has a rich culture which, like Japan's citizens, they embrace in every aspect of their lives, such as the food, dress, music, and dance. It would be interesting to share not only the similarities between both countries, but also the differences. One such difference is the languages spoken by both countries. The main languages spoken by Jamaicans are Jamaican Creole and Standard English, while in Japan, the main language spoken is Japanese. The written form of communication used by both countries could also be addressed. In Jamaica, the formal style of writing is the English language, while in Japan, the hiragana and katakana is used. It would be interesting to share these and other information about my country with the students while learning about the history and makeup of Japan in a fun and interactive environment. Raymer 2009 defined global competency as the knowledge and skills people need to understand today's flat world and to integrate across disciplines so that they can comprehend global events and create possibilities to address them. Global competencies are also the attitudinal and ethical dispositions that make it possible to interact peacefully, respectfully, and productively with fellow human beings from diverse geographies. As an assistant language teacher, it would be my greatest pleasure to deepen my appreciation and respect for the Japanese culture by participating in this program. If given the opportunity to interact with and share my culture with the students of Japan, I would take my island home to them while allowing them to share aspects of their own culture with me. Through such a partnership, the results can only be positive as respect and mutual understanding is shared and developed between both countries. So intelligent, the truth. All right. So that was my essay that I wrote. Apparently, the persons who read my essay, they thought that, wow, this young lady sounds very intelligent, man. Yeah, you know. Um, if only they knew. But yeah, and that was the essay that I wrote. On a serious note, that was the essay that I wrote, and that was what brought, I think, plus my interview, which propelled me to my position here. My mouth is tired. I will speak about the interview another time in another video because there's so much that I can speak about the interview on, and I'll touch just a little bit. When you go into the interview, they're looking mainly for not that you are saying the right things, but how it is that you present yourself to them, right? They're looking at your attitude, your body language. You're coming into the interview and Lord Jesus, I'm nervous. Trust me, I am the queen of the switch. Persons who know me personally know that when they interact with me, I'm a totally different person when it comes on to when it comes on to professionalism. I step into a different zone. I'm a different person. You may know Sandrine as a friend, but once I step into my professionalism aspect, I am now Sandrine Wait. I am Miss Wait, and you should address me as such. Understood? So I entered into the interview with that mindset, and I also brought my quirky personality because, I'm just who I am. So I brought my quirky personality into the interview room as well. All right. Videos to come for you guys to prepare you are interview videos. I'm going to do a video dedicated to the interview. What to pack when you are leaving, what to do when you are here, settling do's and don'ts, as well as I'll be showing you a demo lesson, because once you get past the interview stage and you're successful at the interview stage, you're going to have to do a demonstration lesson. I'm going to do a demonstration lesson for you guys, so don't worry yourself. I got you covered. I had some questions from individuals that I wrote down here that I'm going to answer and then close out All right. Question number 1, can I join the program without a degree? And I answered that earlier, which is yes, you can join the program if you have a teacher's diploma. You're a trained teacher with a diploma in a specialization area. All right. What is the pay difference between Jamaica and Japan? Well, I'm glad you asked because Jamaicans pay salary, especially for teachers, because I was a teacher in Jamaica at a high school level for 3 years, and I struck gold when on my salary. There are days when my salary would finish the first week after getting paid. In Jamaica, I waited 6 months, so I was going to work for 6 months before I even saw a dollar, and then they taxed that money like crazy. So that was that. In Japan, I came in I arrived in Japan the 9th of April, and by the paid date, I was getting paid by the end of the month. I collected my salary. They do not miss a beat when it comes to paying you. The government in Jamaica, the system was just slack. As teachers, you're supposed to get paid on the 25th, and sometimes they don't get paid till the 28th, or there's problems with the system, there's problems with the bank, and so you're like a fish out of water every month. You're wondering, am I going to get my salary? In Japan, that is not the case. If money are gonna run, money run. Now, there are other instances where you can be compensated. For example, in the city that I live in, I live near the power plant. And so the closer you live to the power plant, the more money that you get. So there's things like that. Everybody pays different rent in Japan when as an English teacher. So if you live in a teacher accommodation, your rent is considerably less. I have teachers here who are paying 7,000 yen for their rent. I have teachers here who are paying 50,000 yen for their rent, 60,000, 70,000 yen out of pocket for rent, even though everybody's getting the same salary, right? So even though everybody gets the same salary, your take-home pay is going to be different because of various reasons. The tax for the city that you're living in is also a factor as well. But like I said before, you're sure of your money. What is it? Yeah. What is living like in Japan? It's peaceful. That much I can tell you. You're not worried. I never knew how on edge I was until I came to Japan. In Jamaica, I was always worried. Cheese and peas. I have to hold my bag underneath here. I need to always be looking over my shoulder. I need to be careful where I walk as a woman, because what if I need to be careful of the taxi that I take? I need to make sure that I look to see if there's any man in there, or there's females in there, or if there's a taxi that I know. Here, I've become so relaxed, and I have to untrain my brain when I go back to the West, that the West is not like Japan. I said this time and time again that Japan is like a bubble. You leave your front door open and go about your business. I've seen persons go on vacation to another country and leave their door unlocked. Nobody's coming into your apartment. Nobody's coming to touch your stuff. That's just how they live here, right? Things are expensive in Japan. Food-wise, it's expensive, especially fruits. My God. And the strangest thing is, I live in the countryside where there'll be fruits, what they call kaki. Persimmon is on the trees and they're falling off the trees rotten, but yet still you'll go in the supermarket and you'll have to buy one of those for like $200. But yet still it's outside rotten and you cannot take it up. They'll plant the vegetables and they're in the fields rotting, and then you have to go into the supermarket and buy for this ridiculous amount of money. I answered this already. Number 4, can my partner come with me? Yes. If you're married, they can come with you. If you're not married to your partner, Japan does not recognize relationships outside of marriage. They do not. Will we be split up if it is that we come here as boyfriend, girlfriend? So if, say for example, you apply to the program And as the man, you apply, and then your girlfriend applies as well. And you put on the application, my girlfriend is applying, da 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 da. Sometimes you will be separated, and if it's the case, because you're not married, right? If it is that you are separated, you can just wait a year, because when they have the every year you have to recontract. So during the recontracting period, you can sign that you want a transfer. Within the time period, within that year, you're free to go and visit each other. And that's not stop you. There's traveling around Japan might be expensive, but it's possible. What about food and adapting to the culture? The Japanese food it can be very bland. So from the Caribbean, we are used to having our food seasoned. Bring your Maggie, bring a cock soup, bring a box of cock soup, bring a big box of Maggie, bring a big box of fish seasoning. Because when you go to the supermarket, I'm going to do a video showing you what it is like to shop in Japan's supermarkets. You're going there, it's going to be daunting at first because nothing is most likely, unless you go to an international store, nothing is written in English. So you just have to guess what this thing is for. I understand. Milk and cheese and butter. It says, what if your partner is not a teacher? Arnella, if your partner is not a teacher and you are married, well, I know that you are married, Arnella, so your husband can come with you. Because persons are here with their husbands, and their husband is not a teacher. So your husband would come with you as a dependent, right? So he can work after several months of being here. I don't 100% know of the process, but based on where you're placed, you can apply for a job. Now, he can work in one of the factories. He can work. There's so many jobs here that you can work, because I have friends here who did not come here as teachers, but they came here as dependents to their spouses, and they're married to Japanese persons. So what happened is these women went to Jamaica. They saw these, a nice, good body Jamaican men, and I was like, I like the black man here. And so they got married to the man, and they brought him here. And as a man, you have to work to provide for your family. And so these men, they have jobs that do not require them to speak Japanese, and they have jobs that pay them enough to support their wives and the kids that they do have here. How is the work? I'm reading all the questions that I was giving everybody. How is the work environment? I mentioned this in a previous video. Japanese live to work. Or work. No. In the West, we work to live. They live to work. I remember there was an incident where there was this big, something had happened, and it had stopped the trains from going, and they were told that they should stay home. And just as the trains had started running again, you see people broken them neck, and the trains were packed. They have to go to work. I've seen typhoons happen here. I'm a witness to a typhoon, what we call hurricane, happening. And you see the kids with them umbrella, for those who could manage the umbrella, have on them raincoat, and them walking to school in the rain. You best believe you have to be at work. There was a snowstorm here the first year I came here, and the snow, I am 5'8", and the snow was high, and I had to walk in the middle of the road 1 hour to get to work. You better go to work. I've seen instances here where I've met this teacher in one of my schools, and I saw her and I said to her, "But you look sick, man." And she said, "Yes, I'm sick. I'm coming from the hospital this morning." And I said, "What?" She said, "Yes." I said, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I have to come to work." The concept is foreign to me, because in Jamaica, you're sick, you stay in your yard. There's rain, you stay home, because there's landslides and taxi don't run. We have dry weather taxis in Jamaica. This woman was sick, and she came to work. All right. I've seen cases where teachers are at work and they're at the point of fainting or falling down, and they're not going home. They have to work. Me, don't join the policy there. You do not join the policy. You are not Japanese. So therefore, work starts at 8 o'clock, be there at 7:55. Work ends at 4:30. 4:29, be packing your bags because at 4:30 you should be leaving. If it is that they ask you to stay over to help to do anything, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't want to play hardball, but that's not your responsibility. You're not being paid a single cent more to pretend to be Japanese. You will never be recognized as Japanese. You will always be considered as the other. The moment you learn that, the better. Read the work environment as well. For some people, the work environment is positive, and for others, it is not, because some persons are open and receptive to. All right, put it this way: Japan is a closed society, and only in recent years have they really opened up to accommodating a lot of other foreigners into the country. So you have to understand that there is racism here, even though the media like to say that it is not so. There is racism here. There is this feeling of this is my country and only Japanese belong here. I don't remember the term for that. But there's also individuals who are very, trust me, I've met some wonderful Japanese folks here. If it wasn't for the community that I built in terms of my Japanese friends, then I would have gone home a long time ago. All right. So when you come here, make sure that you make friends outside of work, because your work friends is not your friends. Another thing that you should note is that there's a term in Jamaica that we call hypocrites. Here in Japan, they have a name for it. Is it tatame? Whether they call it the two-faced culture. So the face that they show you is not the face that they show behind your back. So they'll be like, hi, hello, hi, in front of your face and behind your back in a little corner. She should wear one red shoes and she don't wear red. And they'll talk about you behind your back. Right? For me, you talk about me behind my back, that's behind my back. You never say anything to my face, that's behind my back. So therefore, have nothing to do with me. When you come into work, they will never say to you, all right, I saw that you use this printer. Don't use this printer. They will never come to you and tell you that. They will go above your head and go to your supervisor and complain to your supervisor. Oh, she used the printer to print 10 paper and the limit is 8. How should I know that it is 8? You didn't say anything to me. They're not going to say anything to you. So it is going to frustrate you at first, but that's just the system and you just work with it. As you continue in the system, you will learn the do's and the don'ts of the workplace. There's so many unspoken rules here in Japan. And the last question that I had here, is it worth it to move to Japan financially? On the JET program, absolutely. I would tell anybody and their mother, sister, brother, cousin, friend. It's one of the reasons why I am doing these live streams. Come to Japan. Come to Japan for the experience. Leave the box that you are in. Step out of your comfort zone. Be challenged. Come to Japan and be challenged, because living in Japan is a challenge. It's a good challenge that will mold you. I've learned so much about myself from being here by myself. I never knew that I could start a YouTube channel until coming to Japan. I never knew I could write a book. I paid off my student loan. I've lent out so much money. I've donated to charities. There's so much I've learned about myself since being in Japan that I would have never experienced in my home country. Jamaica has a classism and a colorism issue, right? I'm not from the right class and I'm not the right color to be a part of a certain setting. So therefore, certain experiences would have passed me by. Certain experiences have passed me by because of those quote unquote limitations. But when I came to Japan and I realized that the doctor and the janitor's child is in the same classroom, I'm teaching in the evenings for international relations or culturally. I'll teach the head doctor of the hospital here comes to my English class. I've taught lawyers, I've taught other teachers that I work with, I've taught them in the evenings as well. And, you know, as a Jamaican, there's such a thing as, you know, you do a little hustle. You're not supposed to hold a second job on the JET program. But for me, I'm not holding a second job. What I do on within my community. So I'm not working with that organization. That's something that you should note as well. You cannot have a second job on JET. Don't make them send you home because you're greedy. Persons around me, they come to me for me to help them. The Black women in my community, they come to me for me to do their hair. I do that as well, right? Like I said, you can have like conversation classes to teach the people around you English. All right. That's my indication that I'm talking a little bit too much. One moment, people. Sorry about that, everybody. If you need any more information, there is a frequently asked questions on the website that you can go ahead and look at and see, and whatever other questions it is that you have. If I have time, you can drop me a message in my email, and let me just leave my email here. Country weight 1991. Okay. If you want me to review your like your essay, I could do that for you. I cannot write your essay for you. You have to do that on your own. But if you need help with reviewing your essay, I can help you to do that as well. But yeah, guys, that's it. But talk till my chest plate hurt me. All right then. Is there any questions that you guys have for me? I'm gonna stay for an additional 2 minutes. Is there any questions that you guys have for me that you want to know? Anybody? No? No question? Arnola, is there a question that you have for me? Did I answer all your questions? All right, I think I have. All right, so if there is no more questions or if there's nothing else, guys, thank you so much for joining me. It is now 11:44 a.m. for me. I know that it is a bit late for you guys as well, where you are. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it is that I do have another I will be having another live because I find it so much easier than having to sit down and edit a video. I've not edited a video in a long time because I've been super busy. The live is so much more easier for me to do. So therefore, if when it comes on to, oh, Giselle is asking, what if you won't get your degree until like next year? Well, Giselle, in that case, you're going to have to apply next year, unfortunately. So if it is that you're graduating this year and you can prove that you have finished your studies, then you can go ahead and apply. You can go to the school and you can go to the school and you can get a letter stating that yes, you can get that from academic affairs that yes, I have completed my course and I will be graduating next year, but this is the situation. You can hand in your application as that. And what happens when the 5 years in? Anala, trust me, I've known persons who are living here in Japan for approximately more than a decade, 10, 15 years, and these are persons who came here on jet. No, like I said, to stay in Japan is so much easier than to stay in America and in like the UK or Canada. The Japanese visa is only 3,000 Jamaican dollars. That's less than 30 US dollars. Less than 30 US dollars. When you come here, after your 5 years ends, there's so many other private schools you can apply for, to be a part of the board of education that you're employed to. If you are a city ALT, if you're a city English teacher, you can apply to stay with the school that you are with, or you can apply to so many other smaller English schools that are here in Japan. Japan has a lot of English schools, and you can apply to a lot directly to a different school. So you can stay here for as long as you want. Trust me. Nicholas says, any other way to migrate to Japan? You can come as an English language teacher. You can come, the ways that I know for Jamaicans is you can come as an English language teacher through JET, which is preferred, or you can come through Interact, and there's so many other smaller English teachers teaching companies that recruit in Jamaica. And you can also get married to your partner who is coming on the JET program. So there's that too. So there's that way that you can migrate to Japan. That's what I know of. All right. A lot of people come here and they buy car parts and all of that because, you know, Japanese cars is what run the place in Jamaica. I did a video on buying and shipping vehicles to Japan. I just need to find the time to edit that, to upload it. But all in God's timing, everybody. But yeah. All right. So those are the two questions that I got. Anybody else before I end this broadcast? Is there anybody else with any other question that you'd like to ask? Anybody else? All right. So, like I said, guys, the deadline for the application is December 1 at 4 p.m. By 4 o'clock, you should be at the you should actually be leaving the embassy. You shouldn't be on your way to the embassy at 4 o'clock on the 1st of December. You should be going home, right? So once you get to the get all of your paperwork and stuff sorted out, like I said, guys, the paperwork can be daunting, but think about it this way. Think about what you are getting for basically for free. Somebody's paying you. Oh, how much money would you suggest that you come here with? Jessica's asking, like a startup amount. I'm going to be honest with you. I came here, I did not have a lot of money because I had so much debts that I had to clear off, and I came here with only 300 US dollars. 300 US dollars. That's all I came here with, and that was enough to last me until payday. Because fortunately for me, when I came to Japan, I came into an apartment where the English teacher that was living here before, she left everything behind. Food, soap. No, she didn't leave any clothes. She leaves soup, food, clothes. What am I saying? She left soap and a lot of soap and a lot of like shampoo. Like she was a female. So that's the thing too. As an English teacher, they rotate you every 5 years. So the idea is for you to leave and somebody else to come for international exchange and relations, to expose the Japanese people to different cultures. So that's why it's called Japan exchange and teaching. So do not go into the interview and tell the people that you plan to live in Japan forever. The whole purpose is for you to come and then leave. That's why the E is there. Exchange. All right. So when you come here, you're told to bring at least 2,000 US dollars. If you do not have 2,000 US dollars, you don't have to worry yourself. Bring what you have, but make sure that you have some amount of money just in case something happen and you need the money to do something, because some people have to pay what we call key money, and we'll talk about that when I show you what Japanese apartments are like. So I'm going to do a video showing you the different types of Japanese apartments that you might get. So everybody don't live in the same place. Everybody won't get the same housing. So I'm going to do a video showing you what Japanese apartments are like. and explaining the process and why is it that some people pay more money than others. All right. So that is it's not nothing to worry about. Just when you come here, just have a goal in mind. All right. I'm coming here. For some people, they have a lot of desk warming time. So some people come here with their degree and they finish their masters before they go home. Oh, hi, Alexia. They finish their masters before they go home because they sit at the desk and they utilize their time wisely. And the salary that they're getting is more than enough. The salary that you get on Jet is more than enough to clear your debts if you are wise. You have some persons come here and they travel. So many other Asian countries are close by to you that you can travel to. All right. I've not been to and I wasn't interested when I came here, but might as well sit there now, Corona. Where can I go? I don't even have a backyard. I have a balcony. I can't go anywhere. But hopefully by the time you guys get here, that will be a thing on the. Okay, so therefore, I think StreamYard is telling me now to shut up to come off. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I have schoolwork to go and my personal schoolwork to go and do. All in all, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again in my next live stream. Bye, guys.